Oh, well, welcome back to On the Branch. Jason now has control. He is now in charge.
What button do I push to actually
The
start
A button, the right face button, starts it, and
The red
also
button.
yeah, huh?
The red button.
Yes, the red button because we're playing it. We're playing on my Super Famicom USB controller. So now you're playing, and if you look at the for some reason the laptop we're playing this on has less delay. There's some weird delay going on because it's a weird cheap knockoff pinball game on Steam. But whatever.
I'm not as sensitive
It's our vehicle.
to delays as you are. I know whenever we play like Rock Band, like you are like
Yeah, I have to have
you
it
have to
within
have
the
it
right.
down to like 2 or 3 milliseconds.
Yes, you are absolutely
And
correct.
I'm like, I'm good to play Rock Band. It could be off by like 20 milliseconds, and I'm fine.
Well, it's because of my DDR background and
Yeah.
like other music rhythm games where it really, really matters. And Rock Band is just, did you hit it or did you not? And it's not super picky. All right, so Picard. Can I start with some of my complaints?
Well,
can I list out-
we were talking about Insurrection last time, and how you think it's actually like faithful to the.
We're not gonna move on until I justify my enjoyment of Star Trek Insurrection. Is that it?
I mean, I think you deserve at least something.
It sounds like you think you deserve an explanation
I'm
for why I
actually,
like this.
You actually think that Insurrection is better than First Contact, which would put you in a substantial minority opinion among Star Trek
the difference
fans.
is Insurrection is Star Trek Next Generation, and like all of the characters act consistent with themselves, and when they don't, there's a very good explanation of they're on the planet that makes them act like horny children, or horny teenagers.
Right.
So it's perfectly reasonable. And there are lots of Star Trek episodes where characters do act outside of their normal character.
Like, for instance, the one where they literally turn into children.
Yes, right. So when people complain about, by the way, Picard, and how like, oh, Captain Picard would never act like this. One, it's been 20 years since we last have seen Picard. Like, for starters, since Nemesis.
He once cried to a group of Ferengi that he wanted to see his daddy.
Yeah, and additionally, not only have we seen him act differently, he was acting differently towards the end of the show, and then in the movies, like he was a character that's constant. Anyway, sorry.
Well, in the movies, he stopped being Jean-Luc Picard, and he just turned into Space John McClane.
Yeah, Insurrection feels good. I mean, it doesn't feel good, but it feels okay. It feels like a decent two-parter because it has a beginning, a middle, and end. It has a real bad guy. It has a climax. It has everything the movie has. It's just a little boring, which is just like any two-parter episode of Star Trek.
It is at least as good as the two-parter Times Arrow, where they meet Mark Twain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But you know what absolutely does not feel like an episode of The Next Generation?
What's that?
Star Trek Picard.
Oh, any of the above. This is very true. One, not a single episode. We're up to 6 episodes. You've only watched up to 5th.
I have not seen the most recent episode. The last episode I saw was the 7 of 9 Revenge episode.
That was the 5th episode. Oh, and by the way, starting now, Amerith, there is a big banner that says spoilers or whatever you want to do to indicate that for the rest of this series, not just the rest of this episode, all spoilers are on the table up through the 5th episode of Picard. So if you have not watched up to the 5th episode and care, stop watching. Come back or don't. Whatever. I mean, no one's watching this anyway.
Are we going to wait for people to actually leave, or could we just go ahead and start talking now?
I think we've had enough time. We can go ahead and start talking about it. Plus, we're going to ease into it.
I'm just going to go right off the bat. Each Hep and 7 of 9 as characters both deserve better.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Than a dumb revenge plot.
Yeah,
like that's the kind of thing that a lazy writer gives to the bad guy.
Yeah,
the underwritten bad guy in a crappy Star Trek movie.
Yeah, well,
right. Like every Star Trek villain since Star Trek 6 has been just some crappy guy with a super weapon who wants revenge.
Yeah,
and now that's how they're writing the main characters.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at 7 of 9, right? You would think where would she be? Maybe she's
working for Starfleet Intelligence, creating anti-Borg weapons.
She definitely could have a job that involves being an action star, but that can't be her primary job. She's always been mental.
Or she should be like an advocate for the rights of ex-Borg.
Well, yeah, and
because that's a theme of this show.
Yeah, she could be multiples of these things, right?
Yeah.
Like she could be an advocate and an on the sly hero that hunts down Borg that are being kidnapped.
Before
rescues a Borg rescuer.
Before we talk more about Picard,
you are terrible at this.
Yeah, I'm not very good at pinball. I would like to say that one of the things that most disappoints me about Star Trek Voyager, and I've written a lengthy series of blog posts about all the things that disappoint me about Star Trek Voyager. But one of them is that I hate the ending. The last episode is like one of the worst episodes.
Oh, you
of Star
hate
Trek.
it, which is funny because that's one of the most beloved episodes of the show.
Of Voyager?
Yeah.
The end game, the time travel. With
you're in an extreme minority.
Yeah, I know. I hate it. I think it's one of the worst episodes, not only of Voyager, but of all of Star Trek. But also, like, I just really wanted Voyager to end differently. Like, personally, had I written the show, I would have, if Voyager gets home at all in the course of the show, I would have had them get home as, like, the cliffhanger to the 6th and 7th season.
Yeah.
And then the whole 7th season would have been about the crew adapting to being back at home and, like, catching us up on what's happening after the Dominion War. And then, like just
wrapping up Star Trek for the next 10 years because there isn't going to be any more for a while.
But things that would have happened is I probably would have had an episode where like Starfleet intelligence basically wants to dissect 7 of 9.
Yeah.
Right? And they have to,
like a Measure of the Man parable.
Yeah, like something
parallel.
like that where they want to like basically dissect her and turn her into, weapons to fight the Borg. And Janeway has to fight for her rights to not have to go through that, which is kind of repetitive. Like Voyager did a couple episodes like that. Mm-hmm. But things like court-martialing Janeway for violating the Prime Directive, or like what the hell happens to all those ex Maquis, because that was a plot line that was dropped
in season 2,
dropped like a brick by the end of season 2.
Yeah.
Like you would think that maybe as terms of like a peace treaty with Cardassia, right? Like they'd want to extradite all of the ex Maquis or something like that, and that would be a source of conflict. Like I wanted to see things like that. What's going on? What is the? You
have a lot that went on at the end. Oh, I think you're done with it.
Did I die?
Yeah, you finished your third ball. No, keep going. We'll switch off between episodes.
How do I start it?
Eventually, it's gonna like have you put in the thing, but that's okay. We can keep talking.
Oops. Okay.
You are at the end. Eventually, it's gonna want you to put in the thing, and I'll just tell it no.
So okay, what was I saying then?
These are the voyages of the.
Then 7 of 9 just shows up in Picard, and she's given a dumb revenge plot because they decided to just gruesomely murder Ichep for like no reason.
Oh, there's a reason. I told you the reason off the show.
No reason within like the narrative.
The narrative of the show.
They basically just turned Ichep into is the
you can press A now.
The woman in the fridge. Would this be a woman in the fridge trope, like where the hero is just
the girl in the box thing?
Yeah, girl in the box. That's the one that I'm thinking of. Would Egypt's murder be a girl in the box trope?
Kind of, almost like just because it's sort of an object that's there just as a MacGuffin who is a person. I mean,
and to be honest, like it took me a while into the scene before I could even tell that that's who that was supposed to be. Because it's 20 years later.
So by the
actor
way,
has aged.
The reason it's not the same actor. That's there was a petition circulated. So what happened is the actor had said some pretty nasty things about LGBT people. The original actor from 20 years ago or 15 years ago, whenever that episode.
Like he said
that
recently, or he said it like 20 years ago,
like 3 or 4 years ago on Twitter.
Okay, so he
he said he had some pretty awful, nasty views, and so there was a petition to not have the actor himself in the show, which was honored, I guess, accepted, agreed to by the show's makers, obviously. But then they decided to go that extra mile and add a completely gory,
gruesomely murdering him on screen.
Yeah, for like no reason. Like, why don't you kill him and then take his body parts out? Like, why are you keeping him alive to dissect him on the table? I don't know. It just made no sense. But the reason it makes no sense has a good reason, because the point was to not make sense.
Well, I don't know that even the off-screen reason is a good reason to murder the character.
I mean, again,
like,
that was
I can understand them not wanting to bring in the actor because of something like that, but like you could treat the character with a little bit more respect.
And they keep doing this. This isn't your daddy's, Star Trek, by doing things like having that gory scene and having lots of cursing. I'm okay. Like in that first or second episode where she was a Commodore or an Admiral, where she said,
"Oh yeah, Commodores are back."
Yeah, the unfucking mitigated gall or something, like she says.
See, I
loved that.
I don't
that
mind
was
stuff
great.
like that.
yeah, I didn't hate it at all. I hate it when people are cursing up a storm, when Raph is this girl who's living in poverty on Earth. For some reason, I do like the fact that they just flat out says she lives at Vasquez Rocks. Like, they showed Vasquez Rocks. And they're like, yeah, it's Star Trek. You gotta have Vasquez Rocks.
Well, but here's the thing. It's worse than that, right? Because, like, it's not just that she's living... Well, I guess, yeah, the problem is that she is living in poverty. And, but, like... When Picard first showed up at her little trailer home, I thought she was choosing to live like that.
Yeah,
because she wanted to be like off. Because she had
she was a hermit.
She had a falling out with Starfleet. She was a hermit. She was living off the grid. But then she starts talking about like how ashamed she is of her little hovel, and like talking about Picard living on his hoity-toity rich people mansion with his Romulan army of Romulan slaves.
Did you lose again already?
No, I was just...
Yeah, you did. You're. It looks like you're out. Yeah.
No, I just launched the ball.
You did? Okay. Sorry, keep going.
So, yeah, like, slavery is a thing now in Star Trek
Yeah,
again,
it seems like everything is
poverty and racism.
And I would be fine with that, but it doesn't feel explained why poverty and racism are back.
That was bad.
Like, it's fine that she's living like this... But
right,
yeah,
but
I
thought it was going to be a willful decision because she had a falling out with Starfleet,
and she has a drug
and
problem.
The Federation. Well, I actually no, that's the thing. I also was I despised the fact that people are smoking in this
and drinking, and she has an alcohol problem.
No, drinking is fine. People have always had alcohol in Star Trek.
It seems like she's smoking like some kind of space weed too. Like it's not quite cigarettes.
But I remember
it's not quite marijuana.
I remember. Yeah, it's some kind of weed like drug, but like people are vaping. Right,
yeah.
And I hate that. Humanity should be well past vaping. In fact, I think I remember there being an anecdote where in the original series somebody wanted to put up a no smoking sign like on the bridge of the Enterprise, like next to the turbo lift, and Gene Roddenberry vehemently said no. People don't smoke in the 23rd century.
No smoking in the 23rd century. Next time on The Branch.
It's snake root oil.
Oh.
What? That she's smoking in the show?
Yeah, it's either snake root or snake leaf.
There you go. Jamie the Branch says it's snake leaf oil.
So they're smoking snake oil. It's even worse.
Yeah, but
it's not snake oil, it's snake leaf.
Yeah, but the episode's over now, so we have to talk more next time on The Branch.